usually see it all. Need to see what the sub count was at. Let's go back. Let's go in game. As in the bottom left-hand side, our Red Protoss player is going to be Zoun. And in the top right-hand side, our Blue Terran player is going to be Team Liquid's Clem. Oh, Clem just going to take a little drink as he gets warmed up here. I like it, I like it. Confident at the start of the game, taking a sip. Alright, Clem and Zoun, guys, as we continue with day 1 of week 3 of the World Team League. Liquid versus Alpha X. One of the big matches this week, but we got a couple of the big ones still coming up. I think specifically tomorrow, Shopify Rebellion against the Afrika Freak. That's a series to watch out for. Scarlet versus Stats, Lambo versus Trap. Gun versus TY. It's going to be a hell of a matchup. See you guys right here for tomorrow for that one all over again. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. It's 2-2 in this overall Liquid versus Alpha X series. If one of these players goes 2-0, they win the series for the team. If they go 1-1, we get an ace match. I'd say this is a pretty big match, because I do think Liquid and Alpha X are two teams that are really going to be making a bid for slot 4/5 in the playoffs. I don't think they're the favorites. You know, I think you look at DPG, Kaiser, Afrika, and V. So these are the kind of teams, you know, these are some of the teams that are looking for that kind of final couple of playoff spots. A win against another team that's looking for those playoff spots can make all of the difference. So this match is so important for these guys. And it's been a tough couple of weeks for Liquid, and it doesn't let up anytime soon. I think Liquid's lineup next week is against Good Game Gaming, which is also another kind of, you know, tough kind of middle of the pack team. It's a tough time, this World Team League, isn't it? Big matches every week. Oh, it's kind of epic, though, as well, you know? It's been a... You know what I think is really cool about this season of the World Team League compared to previous, like, Gold Series Team Championships is that it really is, I think, epic is the word. Like, it's big. There's a lot of matches. There's a lot of teams that can make the playoffs, and there isn't a playoff spot for every team that should make it. You know, in the past, we've had 8 teams, and 5 of them make playoffs. It doesn't seem... You know, high risk, high reward. The 3 teams that drop out, you're like, well, that's kind of expected. No, this time around, it's anything but, and I love it. I think it's fantastic. I think it's really fantastic. Love everything about it as Reaper takes a couple of shots scouting around here. Twilight Council drops in from Zoun in the main base. So you're going to see a Twilight opener. Now, Zoun, if there's anything I got to say about Zoun's PvT, is it is a little one-dimensional. He loves to go repeatedly into 4-gate, Blink Stalker setups like that. He just does this again and again and again. He is non-stop with the 4-gate Blink Stalker setups, and he will just do it repeatedly. And what's crazy about Zoun, though, is that he doesn't go aggressive with it every time. He'll set up into it every time, but sometimes he'll just sit back and be like, okay, I'm going to stop opening Stalkers very quickly and back away. This time he's not going to go 4-gate Blink. He's going to go Dark Shrine. Let's see what Clem's build is going to look like. A Raven on the way would obviously be very useful here. Let's see how this sets up. There's a couple of adepts move out the front. A couple of additional gates coming through. That robo facility is not far from finishing. As the adepts here already putting some damage out. First Reaper goes down. Now a Hellion taking a couple of shots as well. As the Hellion gets into the main base, putting some damage out. And that's going to be 1 probe going down, turning around for a 2nd probe. So a couple of probes get picked off as the Raven starts from Clem. So again, that Raven up and running. Factory going to start a Cyclone too as the Dark Shrine comes in. Well, it's definitely a good setup for Clem, right? Just having the Raven is immediately a big advantage, definitely a big help. Make our way out to the center of the map with this prism. Going to set the warp in up, and our first DT is coming through. Of course, the good news for Zoun is that the Raven can't just split into 2. It can only be in 1 place at a time. Unfortunately for Zoun, he sends all 3 DTs in the 1 place the Raven is at, so he's going to take down a bunker. Not really sure if Clem is too bothered about the blues in the bunker here. Gets us lock onto the prism. No, he actually got locked into a cyclone. I thought it was on the prism. Or maybe it was on the prism and it got out of range. CTs did hit the cycle and slow it down a little bit, as it's a charge follow-up, so obviously that opens up charge got Archon. What's a little bit dangerous about this, you're not playing Blink or anything, right? So you are going to be pretty lacking on kind of anti-air and being able to just shut down drops. So that's one thing Clem could maybe utilize in his game a little bit later, but maybe Zoun just believes nothing's going to come his way anytime soon, especially as he's going to pressure with the Archons for a while. This Archon drop follow-up is going to look for some SCVs, and it can actually be a very good way of slowing down this kind of attack. Clem is looking to manually target with the Cyclone there. You can see it kind of not locking onto the Archons right away. So looking for the manual lock-on onto the Warp Prism to try and just push that back and trying to get the Archons stranded. Doesn't work out this time. Good micro from Zoun. He kind of respected that. He just backs it up. Of course, it's got to be said that everything that Zoun has tried to do so far has not resulted in any success, right? So Clem has been able to play his game no problems, while everything Zoun has done. And again, it's one of those things where usually you'd be like, well, is that an issue? Well, yeah, because Zoun kind of committed into a Dark Shrine and stuff. And okay, he doesn't lose DTs. You know, he's got them as Archons now. They are still useful in a fight. They are still useful in a fight, but are they going to be like, you know, is this the position Clem wants to be in? No, he would have rather have done a whole bunch more damage before now, realistically. Viking and the Raven helping to push this Prism out down the bottom side. As, we just see that 3 CCs done. Very typical timings of expansions here. Zoun getting that third base up a bit faster than the Terran player. Clem is down like 16 workers, but without the third, it's not like he's really got anything to mine for anyway. Clem's army supply is massive right now. As Clem's just about to finish stimming combat shields. Now he's going to move out. And this is the thing. It's, you know, what Zoun's done so far is fine. You know, no super early attack or anything. But has it set him up well enough to defend against this attack? Because this is the kind of attack where you can actually now end up really being in some trouble, right? There's a couple of tanks here. There's a lot of bio units. They've got their upgrades ready to go, and you're playing with Charge Lot Immortal Archon. The problem is there's not a lot of Charge Lots right now. If you get rid of those Charge Lots, the Immortal Archon is a quick, easy target for the Terran player to work against, and you can just kite those units as well if you need to, back away from Archons. You can really limit the damage that this Protoss army right now can get done. And as you see, I believe the Prism just loaded up a couple units, so maybe a bit of a flank setup from Zoun. That or just a straight-up counterattack with a few Zealots could be still okay. You can see that Zoun has the stacked defense here, recognizing what is needed, recognizing that he's not maybe on the best of armies just yet, and that he maybe just needs that little bit of extra help to help him work out here. Clem's going to stim. I don't mind it, because honestly, picking away through battery energy, he's going to get himself an Immortal there too, through the super battery. Clem has been reinforcing. There is still units setting up to flank from the left-hand side. Those Zealots are going to start moving in now. Clem will get a little bit of a heads up on it. What does the Raven want to do? Anti-armor missile on the main chunk of the army here. Fortunately, the few Zealots from the left side don't get hit by that, so Clem is not actually making the most use of the anti-armor just yet. But again, the ability to kite against this army is huge, and that's what Clem really relies on as he backs away a little bit. Clem is going to disengage. I mean, obviously, tanks no longer there, not having the spawn units. He is going to see these Zealots with this dropship. Obviously, the Zealots see the dropships as well, so both sides of this coin being revealed to the other. Is Clem just going to be... I mean, this is what's so annoying about Clem. He will constantly be here kind of pushing around and stimming units. He's so comfortable being able to kind of micro, right, that he doesn't ever doubt his ability to kind of multitask a little bit. Drop into the main, and maybe Clem didn't actually see those Zealots, because it feels like he dropped here anyways. And maybe he should have backed away. Zoun getting some decent damage done. 5 workers killed off with these few Zealots. And Clem is going to have to back this up. Storm's about to be done. Clem's actually going to have to start taking this to a different stage of the game, right? You know, this is kind of getting past the point of just playing bio units. He is getting a couple libs. Obviously, I'm initially thinking that maybe a Ghost Academy would be nice. But one thing that Clem has done is similar to what Zoun did initially, right? Clem didn't have a 3rd CC down. Now Zoun doesn't have a 4th base down. That's a lot due to the fact that Clem's just on the map applying a lot of pressure. And I think a 4th base would have been quite nice right now for Zoun, but you know, unable to get that up. He is going to go into a Robo Facility and a Robo Bay. So he is setting himself up for a Colossus switch, as Clem's out of position and his 3rd is in some trouble. This army just showed up over here, and Clem's going to lose all of his SCVs in this base. What does he do? He's going to counterattack. Pretty much the only option you have, I think, because fighting this army maybe doesn't go so well, and if you don't actually get through to, you know, if you don't actually manage to get rid of the army, you've just lost your 3rd base. At least now this is a base for a base, and he's got libs and a good set of units at home, so he's actually able to create a bit of a defense here. I'm not sure Zoun's actually going to be able to successfully go up this ramp. SCV's here to help out. Libera is getting blinked on right away, but even if you just soften up a lot of this army, right? This was not a pretty fight for Zoun. He loses a lot, even more units from Clem, still stemming down the Viking landing. There are going to be storms at home to slow Clem down a little bit. First disruptors on the way out. I like those rather than going for Colossus. They build faster and they have the potential to be much more significant in these fights. Disruptor will clean out a siege tank there, and that will stop further damage being done. Supply is a little bit favorable to Zoun at the moment. He's killed more SCVs. He's got Clem's natural on lockdown, and Clem does not have the natural of Zoun on lockdown, so that's definitely a problem. I think Zoun's going to come out on the better end of this base trade. Now we're going to be seeing the units of Clem falling back home. Can he catch this army of Zoun? I don't think he can catch it, right? He definitely wants to. That's the intention here. Catch this before reinforcements get there, but the reinforcements are about coming from the left side, so Clem's not going to be able to capitalize. And that means that Zoun is, well, I mean, it's kind of an awkward fight, but Clem simmed so much trying to catch it. His army supply is dropping. Zoun has the advantage. And it looks like Zoun is going to be able to put Alpha X up onto match point at the start of this series. I mean, this is a well-played game from Zoun. He was, you know, the start was okay for him. Like I said, he didn't lose anything. He retained a lot of units, and that definitely is an advantage. It's not like he ran DTs in and lost them doing nothing, but I still think Clem's position was pretty reasonable. The biggest issue for Clem was this kind of movement on the map, which he had no idea about. The fact that Zoun came across and Clem just didn't know about it. You know, he just had to make a decision. He starts base trading late. I actually didn't mind it for Clem. I still felt like he had a good amount of units back at home, but it means we basically get an entire year, right? If this tournament's 3 months long, the next one's 3 months long, we literally get like half a year with this tournament happening. Yes, guys, this is still on the old maps. New maps literally got released 3 days ago. You know, it takes a while for tournaments to change their map pool. You've got to, you know, you've already had this, especially in a team league when the teams are picking, you know, players based on maps. There's a map order that's given to teams. It's not really too crazy that the new maps aren't really seen here. I would imagine new maps will show up next week. I'd be surprised if they stuck with this map pool for too long. I'd imagine the new maps will come around next week or so. I think it is just a case of they just got announced too recently. But that's just speculation. They might stick with it all season, but I don't see why they would. I think it's fair. You know, you kind of play on the old maps this week, and then next week the players have had a week to play on the maps on the ladder and stuff and so on, and you can make the changes you need to on the league side of things. I think it makes a lot of sense, to be honest. So the reason that this map's obviously good for Terran, very short, easy to get good siege up positions. Marine tank attacks are very quick and easy to make work. I'm just going to see our probe nibbling up on this SCV. This Rax is going to be completing in a few moments' time. Once that's going to drop down on the natural, a cybernetics core. Going to be building up in the main base, and again, Nexus coming through on the natural as well, so all of this coming into play. As our probe tries to run in toward the front there. Just having a little look around. Tech lab on that barracks. Going to be seeing a Marauder opening. Especially on a shorter map, actually makes a lot of sense. You can already see that Zoun is going to pick a battery, though. That's already... It's in the main base, actually. The battery's not in the low ground. So actually, Zoun's very... So what Zoun's doing is he wants to rally his units across the map. The battery in the main is to deal with a Reaper. But obviously no Reaper this game, so that's a wasted battery. This is actually really good for Clem. Because Zoun is basically committing that battery so you can go across the map, going across the map is not good against the Marauder opening, because if that Adept gets caught, it goes down. Yeah, this is actually a really good initial kind of first couple minutes build order from Clem so far. Concussion Shells is going to be done as the Adept arrives as well. Marauder's hidden to the bottom side, so the Adept can't go anywhere. It's already shaded up the ramp too, so it doesn't even have anywhere good to really shade out to. Oh, is it actually going to get out? Good turnaround from Zoun. Wow, Clem knows he let that slip away. To be fair, I thought that was dead. I thought it was a goner, but he's able to slip that away. That's massive. Good play from Zoun. I thought when it shaded up to the top as well, it was just, like I say, it was out of there. And Clem kind of moved away. I wonder if he could have got the Adept anyway if he just committed onto it on the natural. Maybe. Alright. Oracle coming through. Obviously, Oracle will just clean this up. The thing is, you know, here Clem has already forced a battery to come down. A second battery build, and I think you cancel that. There's no need for 2 batteries. I mean, this is a big investment, though, right? And, yeah, these Adepts can chase forward, and the Oracle can clean this up. The thing is, if the Oracle spends time cleaning up the Marauders, you're obviously using that Oracle energy on Marauders rather than on SCVs, and that's typically okay for Clem as well. He won't really mind that happening. So, typically I'd say Clem's very happy with everything that's going on right now. He is going to get a turret up in the main base, make defense a little bit easier against this Oracle and so on. Just make life that little bit easier this time around as that Oracle comes up. Through to the top side of the map. That's going to fly on in. As the Marine pops out, and that's going to put some damage onto that Oracle. SCV takes a little bit of damage too, as we go back and forth a little bit. 2 more Marines coming in, just going to see additional Marines popping out, being able to chase that Oracle away. Stem pack is going to finish up. I'm just going to see +1 attack and combat shields continue to come on through. A couple of additional SCVs continuing to produce, and just going to be seeing Zoun dropping a 3rd Nexus down on the bottom side of the map. It's a nice stasis wall catch, and Clem knows that slows him down a lot and gives Zoun some additional time to prepare against this attack. It's not a lot from Zoun right now either, right? There's definitely an army from Clem, which could have done well with a few additional Marines, but without them, in some trouble. And those Marines, it's not just that they can't fight now, it's that they're kind of stranded here too. And with the Oracle showing back up, it's a little rough. He is actually going to be able to save the Marines, which is a nice little pickup. Being able to move those back around. +1 is about to finish. That upgrade advantage from Clem pretty sizable. Early Engineering Bay not just providing that turret, but that upgrade lead as well. Of course, Zoun very late on tech other than the Oracles, but he can use these Oracles to shut down reinforcements. It's always nice. I'm just going to stem those couple of Marines. Run, Marines, run! Bring the Oracles all the way towards this main army as Zoun knows what Clem's trying to do. Man, Zoun is playing Clem to his own tune right now. Zoun is really not running into any trouble or anything. Biggest threat is that just there's no blink or anything, but at the end of the day, Clem doesn't really have the units to go and punish the fact that there's no blink just yet. Oh my god, this SCV nearly goes down. He just about gets out to save this command center, doesn't have to cancel it. These Oracles are now drained of energy at least, so Clem can start, forget about those for at least a few moments. He still has a sizable army here. And there is still a little bit of time before blink is starting from Zoun. There is maybe still an opportunity for Clem to take something of a fight. Of course, maybe he wants to wait for Medivacs. If you wait for Medivacs, you're going to be without the, there's going to be blink in play though, so you don't have that advantage anymore. This fight starts up. It's just too much gateway forces, right? The Guardian Shield is safely in the back. Couple of Zealots here to tank. And now Clem tries to rotate around to a different direction, but man, the army's already stemmed. There's only so much you can do. And now blink is done as well. You've got to be careful not to get chased down. We're going to tag a Revelation. We're going to have a pause. I think Clem is, okay, just checking if there's a bit of lag. He's going to say no, Zoun. Maybe we wait for a moment or two and see what happens here. I'll be back into Clem Zoun momentarily, guys. Give it a second, get this continuing. Clem is actually one of the players that doesn't have as much issue on the NA server, or at least he's not very vocal about it. He doesn't really talk so much about... out of all the players I ever have to organize tournaments for, like, whenever I say, oh, it's West this time, Clem never says anything about it, Whereas a lot of players like, West? OMG. Alright, well, the game is in a bit of a weird state. I think Zoun's position's improving. It's a weird game because Zoun, I didn't really like his position. You know? I didn't really think it was like an amazing, like, oh my god, like this is great for Zoun, but I liked it enough. You know, it's been good enough for him to survive, and a lot of the time that's all you need. Give this a couple of moments, guys. Yeah, I'll be like 2 seconds, guys. Be right back. Alright, we resume, and Clem starts to push on in again. A couple of medevacs now reinforcing with this, so everything joining back together. Just going to come back in. Stalkers and the sentries join in, and I don't see what Clem can do pushing into this. And now Zoun's on the way up to Storm as well, so continue to produce here. As the tank sets up, starts to fire, a couple Stalkers in some trouble for sure. He's just going to have to unsiege and back away from this right now. He's going to be seeing Clem. Bringing it back to the upper left-hand side and just going to be seeing a disengage. So 1-1 upgrades definitely his advantage still, but with Storm coming up, of course, Storm doesn't give a crap about upgrades, right? So definitely, we're definitely getting to an interesting state of the game. Again, you don't see, honestly, you don't see Storm as an upgrade that much in PvT either, right? Oftentimes nowadays it's all about Colossus and then Disruptors. So seeing Storm itself is a nice little switch up. Storm goes down, Marines is going to cut out of that. That's not a bad Storm for Clem to eat. It's only on 8 Marines and he actually keeps most of them alive as well, so I don't think he minds that too much. It's difficult for Zoun because it is a defensive position from Clem. There's good Widowmine set up, and he's got the upgrade lead too, and I really think the upgrade lead's a massive part of this. Look how many Zealots are melting and how quickly they're melting. Problem is now Clem is kind of down this ramp, and he's got to push back up into his own natural. That is a bit more problematic, but Clem has a defense, and that's what he was really looking for in this. My Templars don't have a lot of energy left over, and one of them going to get target fired down as Clem stimulates units forward, brings them back, keeps them alive. This is Clem just finding some value without it cost him anything. Nice force fields, grab a couple of Marauders though. So it does end up with Clem having to pay for that a little bit in the end. No Storm, and so Clem is just going to be very free to take a fight. And if Clem believes he has more here, Zoun can't really do anything but run, right? Zoun doesn't have the numbers to fight. There's nothing to like force the Terran army to disengage. That's why you want Storm, that's why you want Disruptors, to force this Terran army to back off and not chase you down. When the fight isn't good for you, your army's not as fast as the Terran army. You know? So being able to disengage like that is usually very important. And Zoun just about makes it happen. One force field really saved him and slowed Clem down enough. As Clem goes into Ghost, Liberator production too. I think one of the big things is just upgrades evening out a little bit as well. As Zoun getting an attack upgrade is definitely a big addition. Battery just doing a little bit of healing. And a couple of these Oracles still sat in the center. Zealots around the left side. Biosims to the left as well. Engineering Bay again start up that +2 attack upgrade. Oracles just flew into the Marines, but there wasn't enough Marines. There was mostly Marauders, at least in the front lines and in the part of the Bio Army that the Oracles flew over, so not too much of an issue. Let's see how Zealot Archon looking to move in again. A couple of EMPs going down. Bioforce pressing forward. The Bio unit splitting up. Storm continuing. Widowmines are going to unburrow, and that Archon's going to go down. Liberator firing away as we have Medivacs healing up once again. Clem's army a little bit kind of in the autumn colors, right? Oranges and yellows across the board. A couple Colossi showing up, and Clem does not have a way to fight 2 Colossi. And the Storm flanks in from the right as well. Clem's army is going to keep on kiting for a little while, but like I say, it's really not one that should be able to continue fighting at all. He is going to need to get to Vikings. This is going to have to go to a later stage of the game here on Submarine. As a few Zealots charge through, and these SCV is going to be in a bit of trouble as well as the Bio units come across. These Zealots absolutely are in some trouble as the Zealots going down. And the Bio units coming through, just going to see the Ghost dropping a snipe on the Zealot as well. Vikings coming up. We do push down the bottom side of the map. Couple of additional zealots just going to warp in. Ghosts going to drop a couple of EMPs off. Bioarmy pushing forward. An Immortal goes down. A Storm to try and keep Clem back just that little bit. He's got a couple Vikings now. I wouldn't say enough to go straight up into these Colossi, especially considering Zoun has a good defensive setup, right? With the static defense, that was a storm and a half, wasn't it? And Clem's medevacs are just drained of energy. He has like 0 healing left on them because of just how much he's been eating storms and stimming and so on. He's going to move up here. One of Clem's issues when he was not as good of a player as he is now was always the fact that he would overstim, chasing units around, just believing that his bio had to be everywhere. And it's something he's improved on, but it's games like this where I'm like, did he stim maybe just a little bit too much once again? I know he's been eating storms as well. But has maybe 1 or 2 stims extra also kind of, led to this kind of stage. And Zoun is playing a very good defensive game. You know what I think is good here for Clem, though? Is I think Liberators are really good on Submarine, because you can see all of these positions Clem's pushing around is all very choked up. If he had Liberators to cover this area, Zoun would not move to the left-hand side like he's doing right now. And then Zoun has to obviously kind of, push through Libs to try and protect the base. I think that's where Clem could do very good, but of course you kind of want to make sure for now the starports continue to produce Vikings, so you actually have an answer to the Colossi. It's kind of a weird one, right? So Disruptor going down, at least Clem able to make a pick off there. Those are pickoffs are actually pretty huge as he turns around again. Upgrades are dead even, +2, +1 on either side. Clem is just getting the better end of these fights. Those EMPs are brutal. Landing repeatedly on this army and just allowing Clem to, especially against the Archons, just cleave them down instantly with that Bioforce. The Disruptor shot fires through. Clem's already split away from that one, no issue at all. Reinforcing and rallying across the map. There's a base up on this left side from Zoun, and Clem's going to recognize that, move up here, and he should just be content with taking this down for the moment. Denying a 5th base. Zoun wants to try and protect it. Moving forwards, his first Disruptor shot does land on a couple units, and the next one will force the Terran back a bit to stop him chasing. This is what I meant from before, right? The Disruptors stop Clem from just chasing this army down when he has a bit of an advantage. Oracle showing up, multiple SCVs are dropping, the other Vikings coming back through, one Oracle down, the other in some trouble, dives in. Oh my god, that Disruptor shot was on top of everything, but Clem, of course, was not splitting because he knew he could target it down. That's exactly what he did. Zoun's army just continues to melt. Zoun has just not been able to take this later game fight at all. He's not been able to bring any of these fights to Clem, and Clem's constant pressure is finally making Zoun slip apart, break apart. And we might get ourselves another Team Liquid ace match. After last week went to an ace match as well, this week might be no different as a Disruptor shot fires in. A couple of Vikings get boomed down. Bio turns, fights, Disruptors continue to drop. Archon, Zealots, and Stalkers wanting to keep on pushing into this. A couple more Zealots dropping as well. Zoun is rebuilt and his army supply is coming back up. Clem going to try and find a different direction against Zoun at the moment as pushing again. The Disruptor fires, but it's just too close to the Terran army. He's just able to jump on it, and now Zoun is backed away. Gives Clem the position onto this location. Nice lift up. He actually saved both the ghost stacks. I was going to say that's a good Disruptor shot, but Clem stops it from being anything at all. And Zoun continues to do a great job defensively, not dying at least, but of course defensively speaking when it came to actually being able to fight the larger army of Clem. That's why he's not been so good. What was the issue for Zoun, really? I feel like it's partly just the fact he can't get out of his bases, right? So Clem just keeps repositioning. Difficult for Zoun to get split up properly, to spread out in the right way. He's eating those EMPs every time. And Clem's just made sure to not let, the Disruptors do work, so the Colossus never got to fire properly. Yeah, it was a well-played game from both, to be honest. 16 minutes of back and forth on Submarine. As again, Clem with a must-win situation to take Liquid to an ace match. If nothing else, again, forcing an ace match, 1 point guaranteed in the league is huge. Especially against another team that's fighting for playoff position. Liquid will still be looking for their first non-ace match win of the tournament in later weeks, as we're going to see Disruptor shots firing. Not going to do too much there, as this was a push out from Zoun, but Clem has numbers left over. He's got reinforcements showing up, and well, does Disruptors buy you a little bit more time here? This is still about a 40 supply difference as Zoun keeps on surviving, pushing out of there. And Clem wants to go and fight this base on the bottom side now, and Zoun obviously says, well, I don't really want you to deny my 5th base once more, but I think Clem knows what he can get done, and You can see the Liberator sieging up, knowing the position he can take. That Disruptor shot is denied before it connects. And this Liberator backs away, comes back through. The Nexus on the bottom side is probably going to keep on going down, going to fall in a few moments. Clem, 170 to the 120 supply. Opening up a little bit further than what it's been. Disruptors keep on falling. Archons are dropping too. That one just surviving. No shields left on it. Battery is drained of energy. Clem diving for the Disruptor. He actually does connect. So Clem loses a chunk of units. Another Disruptor shot coming in. Splits up once again. Liberator still firing. Clem is going to get pushed back. And wow. Zoun is now chasing for every single medevac in the game. That's a problem because obviously you don't want to rebuild medevacs. Because you want to produce Liberators and Vikings and all that good stuff. Clem back at home, 6 bases, by the way. We've not looked at the Terran side of the map in an eternity, because why would we? This has been all about Clem. It's all been about Clem attacking, but Zoun pushes Clem away, and you can see Clem was visibly frustrated. You know, he's often the guy to be quite visually frustrated on the cameras. And you can see he's like, oh, come on, really? You're going to push me back? I have to leave? Disruptor's continuing through. Is he going to push into the middle of the map here? Clem making his way forward as DTs are going to continue being annoying on the other side. That Disruptor should go down. And there's a lot of Liberator sieged up, and that's definitely one of the issues for Zoun now. What answer has he got to Liberators? Maybe that's why Clem got pushed back, because he actually has like 8 Liberators that just weren't on this side of the map. I'm going to say that might be it, right? A lot of expensive units that just weren't in the fight. Probably has good reason to kind of, you know, to be the reason that we end up going to the ace. Okay, guys. Okay. Ace matches. What? Hello? Alpha X, you've sent the wrong Protoss player. Can pull it off. Nice, has been looking pretty good lately. Pillars of gold, we're loading in. This is it. Game 7, big match for Team Liquid and Alpha X. One will walk away with 2 points, one will walk away with 1 point. Top, bottom left-hand side, our red Protoss player is Nice. Taking on the top right, our blue Terran player is Clem from Team Liquid. Alright. What's the plan, Nice? What's the craziness you've got planned here for Game 7? What's the game plan? See what's gonna happen. Yeah, guys, no stream delay, but there's the clean feed we're casting from has a delay. So I'm not delayed, but the clean feed is. So in case you're worried about sniping and stuff, not a thing in this tournament because of that. Alright, just gonna be seeing the racks coming down from Clem. Couple of gases from Nice, so it is gonna be aggressive. And is it not just so obvious, though, if Nice does something like proxy in here? Is it not just so obvious that Clem plays like a fairly safe build against something like that? He's going to build up over here. I mean, that is a bit of an odd, different location. Let's see what's going to happen. I see V starting to scout across the map. We'll not see the proxy, that's fine. He's going to notice it's weird when he sees no Nexus, when he sees double gas in the main. Of course, that's going to be too late for him to necessarily put the command center on the main base, so he might have to do... Let's see what he does with the command center. I think he's just going to drop it down instantly. The SCV scout is a bit sooner. You can see there's no natural, and if there's no natural, you might just put that command center high ground, Clem. And the natural now, we'll see no Nexus. And you just go react after Marine. Stargate on the way up here from Nice, so it's a Marine, no Reaper. Clem just scouts the main base. He's going to recognize, okay, double gas here. You can see Nice preparing for the Reaper with that battery in the main base, but again, with no Reaper, that is 100 minerals that, you know, it's some money there that Nice will not get back. And that will not really do much for him, not for a long time at least. Alright, well, Reactor's going to finish. Factory is built very far back, and I do like that for Clem. Obviously, building the factory far back here allows you to be very safe if you build a tech lab on that. If your defense comes down to going into, you know, Magfield Accelerator Cyclones, having the you know, having the factory far back means you can't have that tech lab denied or anything. There's a Adept moving forward, sees the Marine camp. Marines continue to build up. Bunker from Clem in the main base on that corner. Exactly where you expect to have to defend against the Void Rays. You're going to see the battery's going to start coming down on the natural expansion though, but Clem's just going to lift up anyway. He's not going to try and defend the natural, so now we'll see Nice trying to set the batteries up on the high ground here. Clem is, again, Tech Lab on the factory. I'd be surprised. Okay, he does go Starports. It's not going to be Magfield. It will just be a Cyclone. No, he cancels the Cyclone. He rebuilds the Cyclone. Initial Voider on top of a depot here, and that's going to be a kill. Going to take a chance to come forward for a moment or two, but damage out. Of course, it's dangerous once you start losing the depots, because that does mean then that you are in a position where, you know, the main base is accessible from these Adept Shades. So something to worry about. Clem actually defends against his, defends his depot here with these Marines. That's the Adept Shade going through. Like I say, it's annoying because now you've got to, you know, respect the fact that these Adepts could go to the back. That's something you got to keep on looking at. Is the Medevac, so the Starport's done. What's the choice? He starts a Cyclone. We'll see what comes out of that Starport. Has to be a Viking, right? Don't think anything else really makes much sense. You just go for this Cyclone Viking defense against these Voids. Gonna see another depot picked off here. Clem's already finished up another though. So before he was defending it because he knew he was going to be supply blocked. Now he knows he's got the supply block figured out for the moment at least. He actually needs one more depot though. So now he didn't put as much effort into defending it. But yeah, he needs a depot. He's going to be blocked from building another unit here soon. He starts Magfield. So he is going to go into this Magfield defense as well, with the Viking coming through to help out. I mean, what's good for Clem is he really hasn't lost a lot so far. There's Tempest on the way up right now, so that's actually going to be really important then for the... oh, that's a big issue for Nice. It's going to be pretty important to have the Vikings then, to have the range on the Tempest. The thing is, with Magfield, Cyclone's absolutely going to demolish the Tempest anyway. It's definitely one of the issues here, as we do just... sit back, wait around. Clem's supply blocked, and he's finally going to get out of that. Taking a little while, hasn't it? And he's been spending his money okay. Just slowed down one of the Cyclones from producing for a little bit. There's a gateway on that low ground as well. Still not mining the right amount of gas here, Nice. And that's an issue, because now he can't actually afford his next... he's going to expand in Clem's natural. Okay. This is where this game is going to get weird. He's going to expand the natural. The gas missing is now going to affect him being able to afford another Tempest or so, though. So there is definitely, you know, negative connotations to that mistake. He's definitely being punished a bit for it, and that's a costly mistake as this Tempest fires onto the bunker from afar. Again, no next Tempest on the way up, though. As Nice just expands into Clem's Natra. I mean, high risk move. Let's see if it pays off. What is big about the Nexus is that you're going to be able to super battery onto the natural, right? So you're going to be able to super battery while being aggressive, and that's going to make it a bit more difficult than usual for Clem to bust out of this situation. So this might not even be about mining just yet. It's probably truly just about the idea of that. Oh my god, still not mining that gas. I can't believe this. He's not even building anything additional with the gas, though. Like, he starts +1 air weapons? That's crazy. Clem flew to CC over here, but Nice did see that. Cyclones come forward, they pick off an initial battery. Anything you can pick away at is obviously good news. The problem is this is just one Tempest for such a long time. Clem's going to load up, he's going to go defend his base, and obviously now you've got potential to go across the map with a dropship as well. I feel like what Nice has done is just too slow to really be too meaningful, and again, without an additional, Tempest, like, there's just no damage output on this army of Nice, so Clem's just not afraid of anything. It's going to move in, that's another dead battery. I mean, the Marines are moving across the map. Clem is going to force some units to turn around, go home, and deal with this. I mean, but then what? Nice is just going to try and sit and actually just mine off this natural of Clem? Really? Oh my god. Clem going across the map might actually reveal the fact that, might actually reveal that these probes are off the gas. It might actually help Nice. There's Clem. Ooh, just got units AFK there, so that's a little bit painful. Dropping into the main base now, though. Nice going to have to deal with this. Open in a couple units. It's going to actually recall as well. Clem backs away. Nice. Do you realize that your probes aren't mining gas properly? As Void Ray is actually recalled. Clem's going to unload the Marines and just going to go for a Void Ray kill. He loses the medevac. Marines are just going to back away. Oh my god, the probes are finally going to start mining gas, and Nice is going to really kick himself when he realizes that a bit later on. Vikings and the Cyclones get a lock on, and that's good damage being done. Nice force field on the ramp, and that's that Cyclone is pushed away to the side. As we're going to see the Vikings going to re-engage in. Super battery is active. He is trying to save this Tempest. The damage output from Clem's really good. He gets the Tempest anyway through the Super Battery. Kind of shows you just how much damage output he has. As we do see a tank here helping out as well. These few Marines coming in. Here we go. The Vikings are going to commit in again. Does he have enough with a Cyclone lock on? He absolutely does. The Tempest continue to drop down. And Clem is beginning to retake the natural. Maybe that's a bit too much though. Void Ray showing up as well. And Clem realizes he's dove a little bit too far. Fighting now backwards. Clem just lost a whole bunch here, and Nice is genuinely mining from this natural, so it's kind of working out. Clem's going to try and retake the right side base. 2 Vikings at a time as he's got batteries he needs to work through. Losing the tank at the front there hurts his potential to break on through. Clem has lost a lot, as you can see, and 8 minutes in on one base. He's starting to mine out. That's why it's really important he gets the right side base up and running to at least get some kind of mining underway. Vikings trying to get those pop shots off. They're very close to getting to a position where they can actually just kill the Void Rays. Gonna get rid of one, but Zealot's in the main base, and I don't think Clem has an answer to that, guys. And he called Alpha X crazy for sending out Nice, and yet here we are. This is what's beautiful about Team Leagues. Upsets, crazy decisions, players that you don't expect to see coming through big when it matters the most, as Alpha X are gonna take down Liquid, with Nice having a Nexus in Clem's natural expansion. GG, Nice has done it. Clem has no option but to tap out. And Nice is going to take it for Alpha X in the end. Talk about a team effort, 4-3. And Alpha X pick up a massive